Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing okay today and that you're ready for some more A Requiem for Innocence. So last time we ended by a cliffhanger. Jaren asked Lord Bonnier about his past to tell her his story basically. And I felt like we were going over time, so I paused it right there. So it will be interesting to see what he answers, if he answers her. I honestly don't remember, so it will be interesting to see. Yeah, feels like it's been a while, but it's just because these weeks are so strange. Like, I don't like this schedule. I really don't. I prefer having my normal schedule because the weeks seem so long when you work from home Wednesday, Friday for some reason. So it feels like every week is just crawling. So it feels like it's been like 3 weeks since I streamed, you know? Very strange. My perception of time is all kinds of messed up right now. And it doesn't help that I'm dead tired as well, because my sleeping habits have just spiraled recently. Like, I don't sleep well at all, so I'm like constantly exhausted. So it would be nice to be here with you guys and relax a bit with my favorite story, The House in Fata Morgana. It would be very nice. So I hope you guys will enjoy it too, and that I can help you relax in your daily life as well. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, so I think we should just jump into the game. Gonna make sure I have some sound. Okay, I think that is a good volume for me. I hope it is good for you guys as well. Also, I do hope you can hear me properly, because before I started I was having some issues with like connecting my mic. Or not issues, but for some reason the mic wasn't connected properly. So I hope you guys can hear me as you should. But I suspect that otherwise you would tell me. Alright, let's jump into the story. So, to answer your question, I was not always the man I am today. I had several brothers, though I was the eldest. As such, I was first in the line of succession. There should have been no question as to who was the rightful heir to the house. But my father, the previous lord, wanted my brothers to succeed instead. Wonder why? Without any reason to pass over me, though, he would have faced significant opposition and put the family's reputation and legitimacy at risk. I was neither infirm nor mentally challenged, but rather extremely talented, which gave my father no leverage to deny me the throne. The one thing I lacked was oh my god. The reading is going well, guys, my goodness. Sycophantry. No idea if I pronounced that correctly. Seeing people try to butter each other up made me physically sick. It seemed to me the last kind of behavior royalty should be engaging in. I believed that merely possessing leadership abilities should be sufficient for ruling effectively. But in this world, only those who can win others' favor make it anywhere. Only those who can make themselves look good and their peers like fools. Those who can claim others' achievements as their own, who can appear to have more power than they actually do. My father and brothers forsook me, making an attempt on my life. Because they could not legitimately remove me as the rightful heir, they could only kill me if they wanted their way. I was fortunate enough to survive the attempt, but I still carry the scar today. You mean the big on your back? That's right. You're surprisingly observant. I was in danger of not just losing the lordship, but my life. I was left with 3 choices. To let them kill me, to flee and live in poverty, or to kill them first. I was born to rule though, so in reality I only ever had one choice. I murdered my father and all my brothers, leaving me as the only one in line of succession. But becoming the lord did not immediately win me everyone's favor. Distant relatives crawl out of the woodwork to claim my throne as rightfully theirs. The people demanded I satisfy their every whim and fancy. And even my attendants tried to push their own agendas. The whole affair quickly grew tiring. Dozens were clamoring for a say in matters I could easily handle myself. So I silenced them. Before long, the prodding voices had become corpses. And it was somewhere around that time that I found myself intrigued by fear. Fear is a wonderful thing, an incredibly effective silencer that spreads like a plague. Sufficient application would preemptively stop everyone from interfering. Fear strips man of all his will. When it became apparent to me that one did not have to be a great leader to rule effectively, all the time I had spent in my younger days working to improve myself felt like an incredible waste. Fear became the centerpiece of my rule, and as I continued to employ it, I began to derive great pleasure from the despair it instilled in others. Men trembled at the sight of me. They bowed their heads and abandoned their dignity. They begged me to spare their lives. And what an exquisite sight it was, every single time. Enrapturing. You were born into your madness, Jaren, but I was molded into mine. Ha, that's neat. But Lord Bonnier, wouldn't that make me a bad match for you? I'm not scared of you at all. Man is a curious beast, you see. Once everyone feared me, I then came to seek those who did not. You sure are hard to please. Ha, you make it sound like I'm merely a picky child. Though I suppose there's little difference in your eyes. There were a number of others among the nobles who had, like me, strayed from the path, hardly a surprise given what life as a noble is like. So I started throwing banquets, inviting those who would be interested. These parties were to serve 2 purposes. The first, obviously, being for my own amusement. The second, to find those with similar tastes and bring them into my circle. I found little success with the latter, however, despite my rather zealous attempts at recruitment, so I no longer waste the effort. You weren't able to make any friends then? No, I was not. The other nobles had no interest in getting their own hands dirty. They only wanted to watch, getting their titillation from a safe distance. Not a single one shared the same madness as me. Jaren. I? You are far better than any of them. What? Thanks? What are you squirming about? I thought nothing bothered you. I am capable of getting flustered, thank you. I'm surprised he's this open with her. Yeah, but I mean, he basically feels like she's the only one who can possibly, like, understand him somehow, so I feel like they have a strange bond. But yeah, I think, like, she is the only one that he can be this open with. There is something deeply wrong with you. You're the one who decided to throw that curveball, Lord Bonnier. Enough with the formalities already. You're not a whore anymore. You're allowed to use my name. Huh? That is your name, though. You don't know your own lord's full name, do you, Jaren? What? Answer the question, girl. I'm sorry. Allow me to help. I will only say this once, so don't forget it. My name is Jean-Francois Barnier, firstborn son and rightful heir of the Barnier family. Got it memorized. That's a really long name, though. I think I call you Franny. That was off the tongue nicer. Oh god, Franny. I'm thinking of that show. What was it? Like Nanny? Wasn't she like called Franny or something like that? Or Fran at least, I think. God. At least I think it was that show. I assume I can take that cryptic chuckle as an okay. Think so, yeah? Yeah? Amazing. Only if you wish to be hanged. Call me Francois. Yeah, exactly, the one with the big hair. We were thinking of the same show. Jaren. Get up, Jaren. What? I swear, you spend every moment you're not otherwise occupied sleeping. I love sleeping. I said get up, you feeble-minded Nimrod. Ow! You didn't have to hit me, yeesh. There are nicer ways to wake up a girl, you know. Be grateful I only hit you hard enough to wake you. I swear, the church may have to really find sloth if they ever meet you. This bed is so comfy though. You do realize the blood of dozens of women has seeped into every fiber. Comfy still comfy though. Ha, that wouldn't bother you, would it? So, what's up, Francois? You need me for something? Yes, I have a favor to ask of you. What? A favor? Of me? What is it? I'll do anything. Without even hearing what it is? It doesn't matter what it is. You say the word and I'll do it, Francois. And what if I ask you to take your own life right here? Yes, give me the knife. I should honestly be more used to this by now. Why wouldn't I do anything for you, Francois? I love you. No one's ever cared for me like you before. No one's ever wanted me as much as you. You're happy with me as I am, despite me missing all the most important pieces. Again, I really shouldn't be so surprised. Fear not though, I won't be asking you to die today. How much harder is it gonna be then? I hope you don't want me to kill anyone. It would be my first time, and I'm not sure I could pull it off properly. You're at the bottom of my list of prospective assassins. I doubt you could successfully smother a baby. Although, you could probably cause a great deal of death, I imagine. I would like to make you into a mole. So you want me to dig holes? In a sense. There's been word of unrest building in the city of late. Money and resources are gathered below the table. Murmurings of resistance being organized. So, a bunch of baddies? Precisely. I want you to go down into the city and try to find as many baddies as you can, then report back to me. Can you do that? I can try. Excellent. A whorehouse would be the best place for you to start gathering information, I think. All I need you to do is deliver reports. Anything more involved would probably cause that empty head of yours to burst. Aye. I just realized if I go into the city, I won't be able to see you as often, Francois. Does that displease you? A whole lot. I bet this is what being sad feels like. In your twisted mind, perhaps so. How about this? I will have a servant act as a regular client of yours. He will pretend to be a well-off merchant. At regular intervals, he will patronize the brothel, requesting your services and bringing you back to his residence. He'll pay well enough that he won't mind if you're gone for a few days, during which time you can come back to the manor and see me. How does that sound? Whee! I love it! Next, we need to discuss how you present yourself. Although you are free to be yourself in my presence, you will need to put on a suitable act down in the city. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Now I'm getting butterflies. You spent years doing precisely that before you came here. But I didn't have you counting on me to do a good job of it back then, Francois. Allow me to offer you a piece of advice then. What? I'm all ears. Freely tell others about the misfortunes of your upbringing. I don't think I had a bad childhood, though. You may not, but others will. Your parents murdered as you watched, taken captive by the men who did it. Tell people your story, but don't act overly dejected. Huh? Why not? Won't people think there's something wrong if I'm not sad? People will think it's more unusual if you get too dramatic because it's so far out of line with your regular disposition. Good acting is subtle, not overdone. Ooh. People will feel great pity for you when they hear of your past, and then they will see your exuberance as a sign you fought and found the strength of will to move past your ill fortune. They will be impressed, taken with you. So you needn't exaggerate your performance. Just give it a little bit of flavor. As long as you don't tell anyone those emotions are beyond your grasp, no one will have any reason to suspect otherwise. Ha! Neato. I'm feeling a lot better about this now. I expect you won't disappoint me. Aye aye, boss. So, hey, Francois. What is it? What would you do if, hypothetically speaking, if, when I go down into the city, I learn what sadness and fear feel like? I would kill you, because I would no longer have any interest in you. Awesome! I'm just glad you didn't say you kicked me out. Every girl dreams of being killed by the man she loves. No, I'm pretty sure that's just you, Jaren. No, they did not. You want me to kill you? If it comes down to it, I guess. Though, really? I'd rather be with you forever. Into the room, Jaren, now! Ow, ow, ow! You're gonna yank my arm off! I wouldn't have to if you would move. Listen very carefully. You stay in this room until everything is blown over. Do not open the door for anyone. But... Is this what I think it is? You are only to leave the room if I tell you it's safe, or the manor goes completely silent. And if someone breaks down the door, tell them you're being held captive by the Lord. My predilections are well known among the people. No one will suspect you're lying. I must go now. Farewell, Jaren. I rather enjoyed our time together. But wait! Don't go! I've got an idea, Francois. We could escape through that window there. Tie the sheets up into a rope and climb down. Then we could go somewhere far away, where nobody will find us. I do not have that liberty. Well, why not? Because I am the lord of this land. I was born to be the lord. I murdered my own family to keep my claim to this title. And I will not abandon it until my final breath. I was a fool and a tyrant, neither a great leader nor a great man, but still I bear the responsibility of my role. Fleeing is not an option. I never thought you were a tyrant. The rest of my lordship would disagree with you. I used fear as a weapon of control, murdering slaves for fun and prioritizing my own desires over the needs and lives of my people. Do you have a better word for what I am? Whereas you grasp the difference between good and evil, but lack the requisite emotions to give those concepts meaning, I knowingly chose to stray from the path of righteousness. Didn't you say you could run things just fine with fear? That it was very effective? Indeed, you can run things exceedingly well with fear, though I never said you could do so forever. It first saw signs that people were turning against me 3 years ago. While I did what I could to crush the seeds of revolt before they grew, it would seem I missed a few. If you knew it was coming, couldn't you have stopped it? I've traveled so far down the wicked path it would be nigh impossible for me to find my way back into the light. Which means all I could do is continue on and see what awaited me at the end. I could never play the benevolent ruler though. Those people are inscrutable to me. They all appear to be either ravenous beasts or feeble-minded swine. Were I able to have any love for my people, perhaps things could have turned out differently. I can't stay in here and wait, Francois. I want to be with... You will do as I say, girl! What's gotten into you, Jaren? Death is supposed to be meaningless to you. You do not experience sorrow over loss. But Should I not come back? Go on smiling. Do not think I will simply let them walk in and kill me. I have dozens of skilled guards, and I can handle a sword myself as well. Far better than any mere peasant. They're getting closer. Now, remember, you are not to leave this room, understood? You are my property, and property does not defy the will of its master. What if I do come out? Jaren, you will not be of any help to me out there. And should you obstruct me in any way, I will not hesitate to kill you. You do not have a choice. Is that clear? Francois? What? Time is running short. I love you. I will always place myself, the Lord Jean-Francois Barnier, above anything else in the world. And you second. I guess he was sort of in his own way saying that he loves her, question mark? Like, I think that is as affectionate that he will get, basically. Like I said last time, this is like a really, really twisted version of Michelle and Giselle. And like even this part, like he's closing the door to lock her inside and go out and like take the blow for her, you know? It's very interesting to see those parallels and also very unsettling. I'm not sure I like it. But I can't unsee it. It's like a really, really twisted version of them. Wait. Second? That's kind of super crazy wow, isn't it? Whoa. I'm shaking a bit here. You didn't even think about that? Yeah? neither did I the first time I read it, but now that we just read the first story like not too long ago, it's very fresh in my memory, I can't unsee it. I never felt this way before. Is this what being scared feels like? Huh. This is a lot worse than I imagined. It hurts real bad, like someone sitting on my chest. I can hardly even breathe right. But it's kind of really wonderful. No, I can't do this. I can't be away from him. We are heading into the second act. Poor stupid Sharon, yeah. Like, she's a very interesting character. She's very unique, I would say. Like, it's hard not to like her, but at the same time, she's not a good person either. Like, she's... I feel like she is probably like the definition of a grey character. Because she's like an innocent puppy that is doing a lot of damage, but at the same time she does not know any better because she lacks the capability to know any better. So, yeah, very interesting. Alright, let's see what's going on with Jacopo, shall we? It's a great shame what happened to Ginevra. The post-revolution merrymaking continued into the wee hours of the morning. After things settled down and the men returned to the city, an elderly man calling himself Odilon showed himself before me. Despite his evident age, the man stood tall and spoke in a clear, confident voice. Looking into his deep sapphire eyes, I felt as though I could see everything I had borne witness to in these walls engraved within them. Odilon revealed himself as an ally of the revolution and as having been in contact with Ginevra. Had things proceeded as initially planned, she was to take power and build the land anew with my assistance, but great change is never without its cost. Nevertheless, I am unspeakably grateful for how swiftly you managed to dethrone the former lord. Without your heroic efforts, we would still... Enough with the ass-kissing. Tell me who you are and exactly what you're hoping to get out of me. No need to be so apprehensive, I assure you. I am more than happy to tell you everything you wish to know. I served as consul to the late Lord Jean-Francois Bonnier. And was I who aided the revolution from within the manor's walls, coordinating with Ginevra on the outside. So that'd make you the one who ordered the gates open for us then? Verily. Furthermore, I arranged to have a number of the guards turn coat. Well, you did a fine work. We would have lost a lot more men without your efforts. I have to ask though, where were you while it was actually happening? I don't recall seeing you anywhere. I took the liberty of finding myself shelter. How fortunate for you to be able to kick back and watch, only to crawl out of your hole after we relieved the lord of his head. Might you, perchance, be suggesting this old bag of bones take up the blade? I would only serve as an impediment to your success. 30 years ago, mayhap, but hardly could I point a sword straight today. Or perhaps you would say that I, as a supporter of your cause, should have been present for the occasion regardless. But of little aid would I have been, merely dying a fool's death, becoming naught but another body upon which the living would trek. You're skilled with your words, old man. Of course, it's my job. There is but one service I can provide you, my knowledge. knowledge. Meaning you intend to continue to serve as the Lord's consul. For what other reason would I lend my hand to this revolution? You expect me to just take your word, to trust you. Surely you are aware that you cannot rightfully govern this territory without the acknowledgement of the neighboring counts and a king. I have knowledge and connections which would prove invaluable in establishing you as legitimate and qualified to inherit the throne. Yes, I know. I did not saunter into here blind. I still hadn't figured out how I would accomplish that, but... Wait, I recognize you from somewhere. I remember. You were here during the revolt 3 years ago. You were the one who helped Barnier escape. It was indeed I. That's all the more reason not to trust you. You sat back and watched, not a damn peep, as that clown of a lord left his people to rot. Like hell I'm letting you be my consul. You are an astute young man, but still far too green for your own good. And you fail to fully separate yourself from your own life. Excuse me? I assure you, I was no more fond of Lord Bonnier's predilections than you. But as I am sure you are aware, he was quick to send his opponents off to the gallows. And he would be no more merciful to his consul than a slum dweller. My objections would have ensured but one thing, a swift, meaningless death. Moreover, you knew it was not yet the time and stayed your hand, nay? I too had reached the same conclusion and was awaiting the appropriate time. The perfect time to rearrange the board. You must dispense of the childish emotion that controls you. Act exclusively in service of that which most benefits you. And you cannot do so without someone to guide you. You are still merely a fledgling, young man. You know not up from down in this vast new world. And you have neither an army nor the weapons with which to defend yourself. Should you go out into that world unaccompanied, it will snap your neck before you feel the hands upon your skin. And what benefits are you hoping to reap from this? You're not acting out of a love for the people, that much is obvious. A chance to fulfill my duties as consul to the Lord. My expertise went largely unused under Lord Barnier's rule. It was a deeply frustrating time for me. Though, if I may be blunt, perhaps I should say that I would like to die knowing I have accomplished something worthwhile with my life. I can promise you I have no intention of mistreating the people for my own personal amusement. You've still given me no reason to actually trust you. Allow my work to speak for my words. Allow me to proffer unto you my knowledge, that it might be of service to you. I don't completely trust this man, nor do I think I ever will. He's after something. Probably wants to use me as a puppet under the guise of assisting me as a... Let me read that. Probably wants to use me as a puppet under the guise of assisting me as my consul. He makes a good point though. I need someone to show me the ropes if I want any chance of governing effectively. Have you come to a decision? Okay. It's a pleasure to have you, Odilon. At your service. That said, try anything, and you'll be out the door faster than you can blink. Understood. Good. Now, if I may, I would like to offer my first instruction. And what would that be? You will need to make a formal proclamation of your succession. There are still many among your people who know not who you are. Thus, you must declare yourself the rightful heir, the lost son of Lord Bonnier's predecessor. You must assume a new name. Say again? The name by which you were known before is but a veil behind which you guard your noble identity. and the time has come now for you to reclaim your true self. Hold on a second. I'm not... Yes, I'm aware of your lineage. Okay, then what name do you suppose I should take? You shall assume his name, Jean-Francois Bonnier. Is this some kind of sick joke? You're insane if you think I'm taking that psychopathic killer's name. Why on this green earth would I ever want to call myself after the man I dethroned? Among the nobility, names are oft passed on, from father to son, from brother to brother. But why his name? A name associated with fear and tyranny. Are you trying to hobble me before I take my first step? You will remove the stain his deeds have left upon the name. Lord Bonnier killed his father, brothers, and all their families and attendants, as your Nerva likely told you. Why do you suppose he killed them? Are you mocking me, old man? He killed them because he was a damn madman. Lord Bonnier was not the rightful heir. Excuse me? He was merely a stand-in, to be disposed of and quietly replaced when came the time. However, he grew voracious for power, fixated on becoming the Lord himself. So he killed everyone who stood in his way, both the Bonnier family and the attendants who knew the truth. Hello Israel, welcome, welcome. This game is so beautiful, it's true peak of fiction. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I love it. It's so good. Though he failed to realize that the Lord had sired another son. You, the rightful inheritor of the Jean-Francois Bonnier name. So that's our story, huh? I'm not the fake, he was. When the truth is revealed, the people will be enraptured, and crucially, the damage to the Bonnier family will be minimized. After all, the Bonniers were but victims of this charlatan's avarice. As you are to take on the Bonnier family name, it is to your benefit that the reputation you inherit is as unblemished as possible. Furthermore, you have nothing to gain from keeping your present name. No longer are you the man you were in the slums. You must become a new man entirely. Enough. I need time to think. A day. Give me just one. I cannot. This is a matter of the utmost importance. You must act swiftly, for the opportunity will pass and the tides turn against you anon. The people are on your side for now. However, should you fail to expeditiously demonstrate that you, as their new lord, are likewise on their side, you will find yourself with more than accounts upon your doorstep. Did you know that the music from the original game are singing Portuguese from Portugal? Yeah, I know. That's really cool, I think. That's very interesting, very unique, I feel. Because usually it's like, especially since it's like a Japanese game, I feel like it would be more like natural for it to be like in English or in Japanese. So I think it's really cool that they have Portuguese music. You must decide now. Sir. Alright. I'll swallow my pride. I knew there would need to be some changes before I embarked on this road. So, this isn't unexpected. Just moving quicker than I was prepared for. A wise decision. Now, before we move on to the next order of business, I must ask, are you physically well enough to remain on your feet for a short while longer? You will need to stand before your people and make a speech. Nevertheless, it is evident that you are wounded from your battle, and would it reflect poorly on your accomplishments for you to collapse during your first appearance. I'll be fine. I can hold myself up long enough to give a speech. Oh ho ho! Youth. What a wonderful thing. You must be sure to get your rest once you have finished. I will arrange for the best doctor to come examine you. Appreciated. Now then, let us be off. You need merely repeat after me. I'm from Brazil and I can say the lyrics, there no sense. It's like a ship but still very beautiful. Okay, I see. Well, I mean, probably understandable since like the game is Japanese, but I wouldn't know if you hadn't told me because I do not speak Portuguese at all. So, but yeah, kind of funny to learn that. But I feel like that's like kind of normal. Like I'm thinking a lot of like K-pop bands that use English or even like J-pop as well. Like when they use English in their songs, a lot of times it feels like it doesn't really make that much sense, but it still sounds good. So you know. Do you know how to say something in Portuguese? No, I do not. I do not. I do. I have like when I was in school, like way back when I was a teenager, I did learn some Spanish, but Portuguese, no, I do not. But from what I have heard, the little I have heard of it, it's a very beautiful language, though. Definitely. Hey, did you hear the new Lord's speech? Barnier was a fraud this entire time. What? No way! Begosh, I should have skipped work and gone up to the manor to see it. You still got a chance. Go down to the square. The town cry is spreading the word of the whole thing. Did you hear? The new lord led the charge on the revolution. And he was the real Jean-Francois Barnier. I heard. I was there for his speech. He's so young. And easy on the eyes to boot. They say he spent years living in the slums, hiding his true identity. That must have been so difficult for him. At long last we're free from our suffering. Free from the terror of Lord Barnier. Cheers for the new lord! Oh, give me a break. You know, damn lord. How goes it, Maria? You look like you ain't slept in weeks. Where's your smile, girl? Today's a day for celebration. Oh, go fuck yourself. What? You were the one that pushed him into this. Huh? What are you getting pissy about? You pressured him into this dumbass revolution, into becoming the fucking lord. Whoa. That ain't what happened at all. Jacopo's the one who proposed the whole thing. Bullshit! He was trying to talk sense into you at the Midsummer Festival. God, for the love of cripes, what crawled up your ass and died? The batch's asshole's gone, and now we got someone on our side in power. What's there to complain about? Ugh. Is there anything in that meathead of yours? What was that? You do realize he can never come back now, right? He's the Lord. He's gone, and it's gone for good. Up there in that manor, all by himself. And you dragged him up to the top of that hill and left him there. I get that you want someone to take this out on, but Jacopo's also the one who proposed becoming a lord. No. I didn't push a damn thing on him. I'm sure that we'll all live happily ever after. Yeah, sure. It's that type of game, right? Right. Where are you from? I'm from Sweden. So, yeah. Not a native speaker of English either. But I'm doing my best. He showed up one day with a ring bearing the Barnier's family crest, then told everyone he was royalty and had a claim to the throne. This is insane. It was his words that sparked the revolution. There's no way. Jacopo is royalty? You need to get a better sense of humor. My thoughts exactly at first too, but then I saw the crest on the ring. It's the real deal. Did you miss the whole part when I put the ring in front of everyone before we stormed the manor? His whole spiel about being the heir? That was pretty damn convincing, if I do say so myself. You seriously think I was there for some stupid pep talk? Ain't you his friend? I feel like a friend should be rooting for his success, you know? That's what I'm doing, I can say that much. Anyway, I got a hot date with a couple of cakes, so I'm out of here. Unless you wanna come with. We're gonna be partying all night long. Like hell I'm coming. Just thought I'd ask. Try not to look so sour all the time, Kay? You're much prettier when you're smiling. Choke on a dick, asshole. Duly noted. Later. I can't root for him because he's my friend. I know better than anyone that he's in over his head. All I can do is pray for you, Jacopo. Pray that you'll always be the Jacopo we know. That this won't change you. We're still friends, right? Even if we're worlds apart now. I'm sure that you will love Brazil if you come here someday. Yeah, I would probably do that. I have seen like pictures and stuff and it looks really pretty. It's very far away though, so I'm not sure. Like, here's the thing with me. I don't know if you have heard before. I don't know how many live streams you have seen, but like in September I was diagnosed with a blood clot in my leg that basically was provoked by me flying, and that was just a short flight, so going that far is kind of something I would be scared to do, but I mean, it would be kind of cool to visit Brazil sometime, absolutely. A lot of countries would be interesting to visit. There's a word that use Brazilians say a lot, bom dia. It basically means the same as good morning for Americans. Okay, yeah. I see, yeah. After giving me just enough time to recover, Odilon quickly got to work, instructing me in everything I needed to know to be a lord. My first priority was to revitalize the city, cleaning up the mess my predecessor had left it in. As much as I wanted to ensure that everyone had food and water, it simply wasn't possible to make happen overnight. We would need to significantly expand our farmland, build additional granaries, repair existing irrigation canals, not to mention crack down on crime and disorder. How I make this avatar? I have not made it myself. I commissioned an artist to do it for me. I have a link in my bio on my YouTube page to my vtuber mom's Instagram page. So yeah, I basically paid for it to be made. I cannot answer for how it's done though. I'm not that talented, but it's basically working through a program called VTube Studio. So yeah, that's basically what I know. And I can like tweak the settings for how I want to move and stuff, but other than that I don't really know the science behind it, but I'm very happy for it at least. So yeah. Is the language stream you were part of up anywhere? Could be interesting for any language nerds. Yeah, I don't think the full stream is up, but there is. Let's see if I can find a link to it, perhaps. Hang on a sec. Hello, Funtime Freddy. Welcome to the stream. And thank you for welcoming me to the game of Requiem for Innocence. I am enjoying myself a lot. I think this is the third time I am reading this particular story, but it's fun to revisit it. Let's see. Can you say bom dia from all of you Brazilians? Yep, bom dia! Bom dia to all of my Brazilian fans. Let's see if I can find it. Hang on a second, hang on. Let's see here. Just gonna find there and there we have it. So here is a link if anyone is interested in watching. I don't think that the full stream is up. You could check on Leon's Twitch perhaps, if it's still up there, but it's not uploaded to anywhere on YouTube as far as I know. But here's a clip from a collab that I did with a couple of other VTuber friends. We did a language collab, so we got to learn a bit of each other's languages. So I'm linking it there. There, if you guys are interested in watching that. Your Portuguese is very good, especially for English speaking. Thank you, thank you. I guess it might be because I have learned a little bit of Spanish before, perhaps, since those languages are basically like sibling languages, I guess. Alright, now I'm getting all messed up with a lot of tabs here. There, now everything looks fine for me again. Alright, shall we continue on with the story, perhaps? we continue for a little bit more, then I probably want to do a stretchy break, because I do feel like I'm getting a bit stiff, but let's go on for a short while longer. We will need to significantly expand our farmland, build additional granaries, repair existing irrigation canals, not to mention crack down on crime and disorder. There was so much to do, it was almost dizzying, but the last thing I had time to do was whine. That said, none of it could happen with a snap of the fingers. It would take time and manpower, which meant we would have to use existing stores in the meantime. I asked the people, particularly among the upper class, to relinquish ownership of their stockpiles for me to redistribute among the population. That would allow everyone to make it through the transitional period, I figured. Naturally though, not everyone was happy with the arrangement. But the cries of dissatisfaction were drowned out by cheers of support when I explained that it was for everyone's sake, that we would need to band together to carry the whole city through what would be a rocky transition. As I was patting myself on the back for a job well done, Odilon shook his head and said, "We'll hold years at most." We have enough stores to at least last 3 years though. My god, my reading is... I'm losing the ability to read. 2 if we want to be extra safe. They will set your manor ablaze long before the stores run dry. Excuse me, why would they? I'm obviously doing everything in my power to revitalize the city. And I was the one who freed them from the claws of the tyrant. The people see only the results. Though they accept your promises of improvement now, if, in a year's time, they do not see those words bear fruit, their trust in you will wither away. That you came from the slums is viewed now as a heroic rise to power, but your past will soon be turned against you, used to delegitimize you. You must produce for them tangible results. God, I knew this wouldn't be easy, but still. It boils my blood to think my predecessor, sat around on his ass all day. Did he even accomplish anything in his entire time as the Lord? I can think of only one truly positive effect of his regime. His support for the arts. His what? Surely you have seen the numerous pieces of art adorning this manor's walls. He would often treat himself with works from the finest artists and artisans in the land. Oh, you mean all those paintings and vases and fancy drapes? Bunch of worthless junk, every last bit of it. None of it will do anything to fill the people's empty stomachs. What's your favorite iteration of the white-haired girl? Ooh, that's a good question. Good question. I think the third one. Probably because I really love the third door. So I really like her in that one. Although I feel like I like her very much in the first door as well. But yeah, I still say third door, and I also love how she looks in that door. She looks absolutely gorgeous there. I mean, she's always gorgeous, but especially so in door 3, I feel. So that's probably my favorite. What about you? Which one is your favorite? Would seem you understand not the value of art. Well, I did grow up in the slums. Do you know what purpose art serves? To make you feel better? It's nice to have around, but not much more than that. Bribes, my boy. Those who hunger for power similarly hunger for ways to flaunt it, and the singularity of a piece of art fills that role. Some have a genuine appreciation for art, others merely use it as a tool. But nonetheless, skilled craftsmen, artists, and their work naturally gravitate toward those with power. Would be wise for you to consider dressing somewhat less pedestrian soon. Now, we should be able to put the former Lord's possessions to good use in helping you build up valuable relationships. You mean start handing out bribes? Indeed. But remember, they are negotiation tools. You must use them where they provide you the greatest returns. Negotiation, huh? Alright, I think I see what you're getting at. If I want to revitalize the city in a year, I'm going to need help from my good neighbors. In exchange for provisions and workers, I offered the various Count's pieces from Barnier's collection. Sounds about right. Precisely. This is harder, but I think it's from door 3. She's so beautiful, and his history is great. Yeah, I feel so too. Exactly. I thought you would say door 4. Yeah, I like her in that door as well, but I feel like since that version is fake, I have a hard time having her as my favorite, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. I mean, the white-haired girl is the white-haired girl. We gotta love her either way. My, you are much cleverer than I would expect of a man from the slums. Now, if only you would become accustomed to this manner of thinking, you could become a fine leader in short order. I appreciate the concern, old man. I will dispatch messengers and arrange meetings with the Count so we can begin anon. And I hope I do not have to remind you, but you will need to be very careful with your words, Lord Bonnier. Yeah, I know. You seem quite tired, Lord Bonnier. You think? Every day I have to go meet with someone new, and I spend all my travel time learning how to read and write. It's enough to exhaust anyone. It is necessary nonetheless. Illiteracy will only... Yes, I know. You said I look tired, and I'm telling you why that is. I never said I had a problem with it. I overstepped. My apologies. Your diligence has been invaluable in earning the Count's favor, Lord Bonnier. They think quite fondly of you. Is that so? Because that's certainly not the impression I'm getting. They put on a facade of friendliness, but beneath the surface they're all laughing, trying to figure out how to best use me, or just outright scoffing. Not that one of them sincerely trusts me. I'm just a pawn to them. We are all pieces of one another's boards. What's that supposed to mean? It would be most prudent to consider that unqualified friendship simply does not exist in high society. All interpersonal relationships are built upon a foundation of mutual benefit, save for exceedingly rare short-lived expectations. Nonetheless, you should not consider being used as a bad thing. We all climb atop each other's boards, offering ourselves up as a powerful piece. And so do they offer themselves to us. Should you wish to survive in high society, you must always ensure your peers see you as a piece worth playing. That will mean you're putting yourself out there as well, old man. Indeed, I am your pawn, Lord Bonnier. I offer myself to you, and in your using me, I gain this position as consul to the Lord. This is a far more practical and reliable system than one founded on something so uncertain as emotion, would you not say? Which is to say, I am a pawn to him as much as he is to me. I suppose so. Then I too will have to ensure I remain useful, lest I be swept aside and another Bonnier brought in to take my place. Oh ho ho! Sharp words, my lord. But worry not, for I have no qualms with your performance at present. The life in Sweden is good? Yeah, it is good. It is good. Finally summer, and soon I am to go on summer vacation as well, so that's very nice. The weather is a bit unstable right now. It's like either very hot and sunny, or it's like cold and raining right now. I would love to if it was more like stable sunshine, but not too hot, if that makes sense. But yeah, life in Sweden is good. Now, Lord Bonnier, we must discuss your next... Hold on a sec, would you? Yes, sir? Do you mind not calling me Lord Bonnier in private? I can understand why you want to keep up the charade even when no one's looking, but frankly, I'm just not comfortable with it. Very well. Then, my lord, it shall be. Can't say I'm surprised I won't use my real name. But still. Yeah, that'll do. Thank you. Not at all. Now, back to business, my lord. Alright, I think it's time for a little stretchy break, because I am starting to feel a bit stiff, and also I kind of want to go and use the bathroom real quick, so don't go anywhere too far, but please do take this time to stand up and stretch your legs a bit, and we see each other soon, but don't go anywhere. I'll be back. Alright, I am back. Hello Fia, welcome, perfect timing. We just had our first, we're not gonna have a second, we had the stretcher break. Welcome. Alright, let's continue with the story, shall we? You just got home? Yeah? Very, very nice to see you here. Hope you can relax a bit. It took long enough, but we finally started to see some real progress. Who knew negotiation was so much work? You should be proud of your accomplishments, my lord. It's hardly an easy feat to amass that much manpower and resources in only 6 months. Doing better than expected, huh? How's public opinion looking? Reports should be coming in by now, I assume. Some dissatisfaction, but numbers are within expectations. Dissatisfied? With what? I spent every waking moment this past 6 months working my ass off to revitalize the city, and people aren't happy with that? They should be jumping with joy. My lord, you must understand that it is impossible to satisfy everyone. A degree of discontent is to be expected. Even so, it should be blindingly obvious how much better I'm doing than the previous basket of rainbows and kittens. All is forgotten on the gentle ebb and flow of time. Past injustices matter little in the face of the present. It hasn't even been a year. The people do not genuinely care about you, nor will they ever. They may sing your praises one day and forget about you the next. I believe we have been through this before. Surely there's someone out there who gets it. That is wishful thinking, my lord. You could work yourself to the very bones, and the people would merely see you as fulfilling your duty. You must not seek their approval. More will be expected of you, and more will you be the subject of undeserved resentment for the simple reason that you exist in a position of power. That is very true, actually. I feel like a lot of times we as people down on the ground, we always tend to feel some sort of resentment to those in power, I feel. Even if it's justified or not, I feel like it's very, very human. Which is kind of sad because as we see here, Jacopo is working his ass off, but still it doesn't really help. So, yeah, kind of interesting actually. What a ray of sunshine that man is. Yeah, he's being practical. Only those in a similar position can understand your hardships. Ultimately, then, you have 2 choices. Either dedicate yourself in service of your people, or mercilessly exploit them like your predecessor. I won't follow in that bastard's footsteps. I pray your heart remains true, that you remain a wise and caring lord. Damn it. So, what specifically aren't people happy about? The foremost is food shortages. This was anticipated, and all we can do is ask them to persevere. The second comes from the upper class. Go on. They are, quite naturally, displeased about being made to surrender their stockpiles. It would be prudent to offer them remuneration in the near future. They're doing well enough for themselves already. My lord. I know, just letting off some steam. So I get to butter up all the rich men in town. Wonderful. The whole idea was to help the less well-off, yet here I am. I understand that you are not pleased about this, my lord, but do remember you have more to fear from a few of the upper class banding together than the entirety of the slums. For they wield a most troublesome weapon, an upper-class upbringing. They know precisely who to tell and what to tell about you to tarnish your reputation in the blink of an eye. And do not placate yourself by thinking the common man would see through the attempts to undermine you. Even if they did, an unlikely supposition, they could do nothing to counter it. They are powerless. But it was the people at the bottom who pulled the most weight at organizing and executing the revolution. It was an exceptional set of circumstances that allowed the revolution to take place as it did, not the least of which was the Lord's status as unequivocally evil in the eyes of the people. You will not find them all agreeing on anything so readily now. Alright, I get it. The point is, I gotta win over all the rich people, or my whole operation's going to come to a grinding halt, right? So, as much as it rubs me the wrong way, I'll do what I have to do. A wise decision, my lord. Is that the last of the complaints? No. The influx of immigrants has caused an increase in general unrest. Of course it has. I bring them in to help with the restoration effort, and they go and cause their own new... my god. I know how to read, guys. I bring them in to help with the restoration effort, and they go and cause their own new set of problems. It's like I'm chasing my tail here. So long as there are people under your authority, never will you be completely free of strife. You're telling me. So, would increasing the guards' presence in the city help keep the peace? Most of those with the training necessary are already deployed, meaning you would need to have new guards trained from the ground up. You will have to mobilize them where they are most needed. In other words, tighten your grip on the slums. So now I gotta take away their freedom. I know you have a personal attachment to that area, my lord, but you must cast that aside. No longer are you the man you once were. The slums should have never been allowed to fall into such lawlessness in the first place. You will merely be restoring it to its proper state. If you truly wish to bring prosperity to this land, you must eventually scale down and then eliminate the slums. But if I get rid of the slums, I'll be getting rid of their home. My lord, I know, I understand what you're getting at, and I understand that everything you're saying is perfectly logical. Can we hold off on that for a bit? A bunch of guys down there formed this peacekeeper group to, keep the peace. They'd gladly help out if we could talk to them, I'm sure. We can scale up our patrols, but no stepping on their toes. Got it? As you command, my lord. Hard to believe it's been a whole year. It feels like I only just started yesterday. It's also like I've been doing this forever. You're looking so much worse for wear, my lord. Do I? Who am I kidding? You're right. On the other hand, you don't look like you've even lost an hour of sleep this entire year. Goes to show how inexperienced I really am. While it is true I have been in this position for many years, I also do not bear nearly as much responsibility as you do. Fancy clothes, still no haircut. What's wrong with his haircut? His hair is fine. His hair looks amazing. Don't complain. I merely stand in the background and offer you small pieces of advice. All the while you face the crowds directly, negotiate with counts, make dozens of difficult decisions. If there is one thing I have learned in all my years, it is that I could never begin to imagine the weight a ruler must carry. Never mind one who was never raised to take the throne and thrust themselves into the labyrinth of politics and high society. It would be a greater surprise if the trials had not taken their toll. That reminds me, Bonnier was lord for a full decade before we took him out, wasn't he? And as I recall, he wasn't so much of a despot early on. Just 1 year is taking this much out of me. How much longer before I'm no longer able to act like a reasonable human being? No, don't think like that, Jacopo. Actually, forget it. What matters is, we seem to be doing a good job minimizing discontent. Indeed, you have successfully made it through the first year. The city is decidedly more presentable than it was when you took the throne. There are precious few who could replicate your accomplishments in such short time, my lord. You would do well to take pride in your work. Pushing to do everything so quickly has taken its toll. The people are worn thin. Slaves are dying by the droves. I still have ways to go before there's anything I can be proud of. Slaves are the tool of progress, my lord. Tools do not last forever and must be replaced regularly. And you can't build a house with your bare hands, I get it. You learn quickly. Not even a year ago, I would have been up in arms about the number of slaves dying. But now, they're just numbers to me. Apparently my worldview has changed quite a bit. It is about time we started considering our next step. Meaning? Meaning your efforts thus far have merely been toward repairing the damage caused by your predecessor. You make it sound like all this has just been a warm-up. My apologies. I did not mean to discount your great efforts, my lord. I was simply speaking of the grander scheme. Yeah, I got that. You want to settle on a direction for how to grow the city, right? Indeed. The status quo is vastly inadequate for bringing prosperity to this land, and there is no saying when the surrounding territories may cease being so friendly, and set their eyes upon conquering us. But of course, you cannot keep your eyes trained outward in fear of attack, and allow the land to devour itself from the inside either. So, what you're saying is a balancing act. Precisely. So, what kind of advancements do I want to pursue? There is something that's been on my mind. This land is ill-suited to growing crops. When I lived down in the slums, I had no perspective and figured that what we produced here was no different than anywhere else. But now I know better. The grapes used for our wine are miserable compared to what I've been served elsewhere, as is nearly everything else we grow. I can only assume the land itself is to blame. Oh, the wine from the south is indeed exceptional. You quite nearly gave me a heart attack when you left from your chair in the middle of a meeting, shouting, "This is nothing like the wine from home." Enough, that never happened. It was my first time tasting anything like it, alright? Anyone would have had the same reaction. You have grown much, but nevertheless, you are still quite green. God, I really need to watch myself around this man. In any case, it would be ideal if we could begin producing higher quality grapes, not necessarily to compete with the South, but enough to be serviceable. Efforts to improve our farmland are underway, although it could take some time before we see the progress. Have you any propositions, my lord? Actually, I was thinking it might be best to cut back on agriculture. Do elaborate. What if we were to build the city up on a trade hub, into a trade hub of sorts? Meaning, you wish to open our gates to our neighbors? Exactly. One thing the city has going for it is its wealth of artisans. But for years we only ever exported our goods. I want to bring people here to purchase. We reduce taxes for merchants and give them special privileges. Set tariffs and border taxes lower than they are in the capital. And business will naturally find its way here. This land may be less than optimal for farming, but it's more than adequate for trade. We're in a convenient location to serve as a hub for the surrounding realms. Rather than close our borders and wall ourselves off entirely, opening up and making ourselves of value to our neighbors is far more likely to dissuade potential invasion. We're all pieces on one another's boards, isn't that right? Who says that can't apply to the entire city? The best way to expand without stepping on anyone's toes is to do so in a way that benefits them as well as us. What do you think? A rather aggressive strategy you propose, my lord. If I may be so bold, There will be many obstacles to this plan's success. You will need to arrange meetings with the head of each realm you intend to invite, the order and timing of which will be crucial to its success. Furthermore, the influx of outsiders will be a source of much tension among your people. So you think I'm aiming too high? You are indeed aiming exceedingly high. Your obstacles will be numerous and precipitous. I hope I pronounced that word right. Nonetheless, obstacles can be overcome. Your exhaustion is nothing compared to the awareness that awaits you down this path. Do be well aware of this, my lord. You're damn right I am. If we're gonna do this, I'm gonna go all in. Look at Jacopo being motivated. The Lord's manor sat atop a tall hill. Gazing out, the city stretched before me. Countless columns of smoke rising from the buildings, the people scurrying about like so many ants. From up here, I had a perfect view of the bustle of the city, but I was too far away to feel the life breathing through it. To think I used to be one of those tiny little specks. Thousands of people lived there. They had families, jobs, friends, hobbies. But as much as I was cognizant of that fact, I no longer grasped it on anything more than a conceptual level. It was incredible just how much my view of the world had changed in merely a year's time. I'm going to go out into the world, I said. I thought I'd claw my way up to the top of the ladder would let me see it, would let me experience it. That with power, I could have the whole world at my fingertips. But reality wasn't so simple. This sure isn't what I was looking for. Hell, I feel like the chains just gotten tighter around my neck. There's no way to truly grasp the view from this height without climbing up and seeing it for yourself. And that was exactly where I was a year ago, blind to the reality of life in the upper echelons, fantasizing about a world that didn't exist. Unlike the me of the past, I did have the satisfaction of feeling like I was accomplishing big things. But was that really worth cutting myself off from all my friends? Did those achievements really justify a bloody revolution? Or, I suppose I should ask, was this work valuable enough to me to justify it all? Reminiscing about days long gone wasn't going to help anything, and in fact, it only served to cause me pain. I couldn't return to that time. This was where my quest for power had brought me, and now I had to live out my days as lord of this land, telling myself day after day that it was far better than being a powerless slum rat. God, I've been so busy these few weeks. My eyes are... One day, I'll show you the world. Do you ever get tired of saying that? You gotta think big. Dream. This world's changing all around us. A life just fighting to make it by day to day is hardly a life at all. I don't want to spend the rest of my days confined to this tiny little corner of the world. Well, try not to let your dreams grow so big they crush you. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'll just have you sing for me if it ever gets to be overwhelming. Why would I be there? Why wouldn't you? It's hard to show you the world if I don't bring you with me. Knowing you still won't know where you want to go. So, I'll bring you with me. We can find a place for you together. Pretty good deal, huh? I don't need to see the world. All I want is... Dozed off for a second there. It feels like those days were an eternity ago. I don't need to see the world. All I want is... All you want is what, Morgana? What were you trying to tell me? Man, it feels like a whole different place here now. You think? Looks like the same old nasty dump it's always been. He's talking about the whole city, you adult. Exactly. Things are on the up in the city proper, but we ain't seeing a scrap of it down here. The heck's up with that? All the new shops are spilling out past the city border. The highway into town's turned into a full-blown bazaar. Oh, sounds nice. Is there anything in that damn head of yours? We're saying, how come we're still living like rats if they got enough spare coin to build all that market space? Hell, with all these damn immigrants coming in, the slums are even bigger shithole than before. You know, I never thought much of it till now, but you're right. The gang's been a lot busier lately with all the drifters. Well, Jacopo didn't want to change the slum. True. But, yeah. It is a tricky situation, indeed. And Jacopo, Lord Bonnier, ain't showed his mug down here even once since he took over. I mean, I get that the bloody lord can't spend all day hanging out in the slums, but he could at least visit. Instead he's spending all his time buddying up with the rich folks. And we used to be such good friends too. Wonder if he's planning to just not bother with us at all. I hope not, but that's sure what it's looking like. I think he'd at least throw us a bone rather than letting the merchants and the upper class take coin baths in his coffers. Guess when he became one of them, he became just like him too. Feels like we're in the exact same place we were a year ago. He's no different than the old Bonnier. Psst. God. Oh, it's you. So, you find anything? Yep. Got the proof he was looking for. But if you'd be so kind to never give me a job like this again. I'd be hanged thrice over if the nobles found out I was sniffing around in their business. Oh, quit being such a bitch. You didn't steal nothing or kill anyone. You're fine. A man's secrets can sometimes be worth more than his life. But on to business. Your suspicions were correct. Well, fuck me sideways. Here's your pay. Take it and piss off. Nice doing business. Hey, hold up now. I risked my neck to get that for you, and this is all I get in return? Got a problem with that, you little bitch? No, sir? Don't you worry. You'll get your fair due shortly. Alright guys, I do think that this is probably a good place to stop, because if I remember what is coming up, I do want to have proper time to do it justice, so I am going to end it here. But yeah, we get to see slowly our guys' slow but steady descent into becoming the lord that we know from the house in Fata Morgana. The one who is a piece of shit, basically. But yeah, so far he is still trying. He is doing his best, and as we got to see, no one is really seeing it. Like, people will always only see what they want to see. They will only see like their own problems and don't think about another's problems. And as we have seen, like from Requiem, like when they were taking over, he was basically saying like, oh, but I could, like, he was trying to do it for him, like take over, like, oh, but I could do it because I'm stronger than you. Like, he thinks it's only being strong and that you can do whatever you want as soon as you are the Lord. But Jacopo is really trying to learn, and is a lot more going into it, and is doing his best to make everyone happy. As you said, Duder, he does not want to change the slums because that is his home. He doesn't want to like change everything, and he wants to help them, but he doesn't have the means to yet. But he's trying to like fix other parts of the city before he can move on to helping his friends. But of course they don't see that, and he's not talking to them because how could he? He's the Lord. He has no means to talk to the lowly people because that would cause rumors, and he can't have that. He needs to always be on his toes, and very, very difficult position. I do not envy him at all. And once again, I love this story. I love the writing. It's so good. And I love that we were told what would happen in like the house in Fata Morgana. We knew how it all panned out, but it's very different to see it for yourself, like how he becomes who he is and why. Like, it doesn't justify his future actions, like locking Morgana up and all of that, but it gives us an understanding as to why something like that could even happen, and I really like that. So yeah. He's growing up to be a fine young gentleman. Yeah. Very true. And no, he cannot send a Jaren. Come on, he is not trying to spy on people, like, so. And also, I don't know, I feel like even if he did send someone down to the slums to like do the talking for him, they would talk, and talking leads to more talking, and I don't think he could possibly risk that. He needs to act the Lord role, basically, in order to survive. He cannot give in to that temptation of contacting his old friends. Like, there's just no way for him to do that without possibly losing everything he's working for. So yeah, very, very good story, very, very tragic. But yeah, next stream will be on, let's say it's Wednesday today. My sense of days is just gone out the window because of my new summer schedule. But yeah, next stream is on Friday, and I will play Final Fantasy 7, 16:15 GMT as always. And also, hi Quill, welcome. Yeah, you're here for the end. You are very welcome, but I am about to end it, sadly. And then I will play more A Requiem for Innocence on Sunday, 13 GMT plus 2. So if you're interested in more of A Requiem for Innocence, that's when you can watch me. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. It has been a lot of fun as always. Very interesting to learn some Brazilian as well. Was not expecting that, but that's the fun thing about live stream. You never know what to expect, really. Or learning Brazilian, learning Portuguese, I guess I should say. But yeah. So I wish you all a lovely evening, everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.